It's sluggish by nature and not especially powerful, but Acinetobacter Baumannii is very resistant to antibiotics. And for 4 years now, it's been making it much harder for many wounded service members to recover from horrific injury.
Okay, hang in there, buddy.
You have complex wounds, combination of burns, blast injury, lacerations, and then on top of that they get infected.
And studies show they most likely get it in frontline hospitals that save their lives, but do so in less than sterile conditions. One doctor I spoke with who chose not to appear on camera said if you thought of every hospital along the casualty evacuation chain as one large healthcare system, this constitutes the largest outbreak of this sort in history.
It was spread from patient to patient through various means, just being on surfaces and having one person come in a room after another person has left.
The few truly effective treatments come with possibility of such side effects as kidney failure. One is an antibiotic called colistin.
It hadn't been used really since the 1970s. I had never used it ever until the last couple of years. And the concern with colistin was that it would cause kidney damage or nerve damage.
Because tests to prove infection take days, doctors agonize over whether to treat or wait and see.
The infection, if it goes on, sometimes will lead to amputation. So these are tough choices.
Adding to the military surgeon's challenge, trying to not remove tissue that's not infected.
Doing everything they can to get rid of the devitalized tissue without taking too much in the way of good viable tissue and preserving limb length for a prosthetic. That's a tough call.
22-year-old David Emery had already lost one leg to a bomb blast. Then Acinetobacter infected his other.
They could have saved it. They had a rod in it, but then the bacteria was getting too bad, and my white blood cell count was up to like 89,000. And they told my mom on a Friday that they had to take it.
And it wasn't just his leg.
He ended up getting in his stomach, and they tried to close his stomach back up, but when they did, the stitches ended up pulling away because the infection was taken over.
Sometimes, trying to err on the side of caution, doctors on the front line prescribe wide-spectrum antibiotics from the very start. Perhaps not the best way to fight Acinetobacter.
I think antibiotic use is probably driving some of this, because when you keep people on prolonged antibiotics unnecessarily, it lets them be colonized with worse and worse bacteria.
When you give an antibiotic, you'll kill most of the bacteria that's on that patient. But if a bacteria either is resistant to that antibiotic or is able to rapidly become resistant to that antibiotic, then it will grow because all the other bacteria have been killed off.
In our final installment, have defense officials been slow to address this dangerous dilemma?